I'm getting closer to my target, but the drone is watching carefully. It's coming down really low now. I'm trying to move, but at this point he's got his eyes locked on me. I want to get to a net, maybe, to just get a little bit of temporary cover. I'm not sure if you can see me yet. In May this year, at special NATO war games in Sweden, including on the island of Gotland, known as Aurora 2026, a small handful of Ukrainian drone teams were brought over from the war zone here in the east out to Sweden to act as OPFOR, to act basically as Russian soldiers in these war games. And famously, the results were overwhelming, with just a small group of Ukrainian drone specialists able to stop entire NATO mechanized assaults in such a fashion that they needed to redo the exercise over and over again, just because nothing was working out. Now we're out here on one of our regular reporting trips, and we've got an amazing chance to catch up with two of the Ukrainian pilots involved in these war games just a week or so after they returned from Sweden. They are from the 20th Brigade of Ukraine's National Guard, better known as Lubart, part of the overall 1st Azov Corps, and they're going to tell us all about what it was like fighting NATO. Before we continue, I just want to stop and let you know that we here at the Kyiv Independent are conducting a big and very important for us campaign to achieve 4,000 new members of our community this month. If you like what we do, bringing you all the way to the battlefield of Russia's war against Ukraine and want to support our work, please consider this month becoming a member of the Kyiv Independent community. Can you start to tell me the story of how you got this assignment to go to Sweden? Was it the commanders that just told you that you were going to this big NATO exercise?
First, I got a call from the sergeant, our main sergeant of the battalion. He was asking if I'm interested in that, if I have international passport. My language skills were useful there. I can also fly like every kind of drones that we have. So basically I can close every squad member position. Yeah, we were interested because I was never been in Sweden. It's a beautiful country. It's with a good people there. So yeah, why shouldn't we exchange the experience with our colleagues to share our combat experience and combat knowledge about the drones to help them to prevent anything bad happening to them.
Did you already understand straight away that your job would be to basically fight as OPFOR, as Russian soldiers basically against NATO?
Yes, we were told that we're gonna be playing OP to show the danger that could cause by the drones. You need to show them what damage can the regular one FPV squad and one ISR drone squad can do to the platoon, to the regiment.
Did you know what kind of opposing forces you would be fighting, what NATO forces would be?
I only knew that the British were supposed to be on the same team as us. That had been discussed, but I don't remember who exactly we were supposed to be up against. I don't think that was ever mentioned. Well, it was France and Sweden, a joint team. But that was the initial scenario, where we were supposed to play on the attacking side. After we eliminated everyone while playing as the attackers, we then switched to the defending side and ended up playing against the same team we had previously been part of.
Tell us what the missions were and what your job was in each mission.
So the first mission was the defense of airport. I guess, yeah, I'm sure that was the first one. I guess from their regiment there were so many questions because they like working with the drones, so they were the most interested in that area. The second mission was with the tank regiment, tank battalion. It was like the massive exercise with the with assaults and defense with the tanks from both sides. But we were not the main hero there because they were training their stuff. We basically just show what we can do to support them or to prevent them from happening, like from the assaults and stuff. And I guess the next one was with the Rangers. But the terrain was like pretty hard to locate any French reconnaissance guys. They were hiding like all the time with the ghillie suits.
Better than the Russians?
Probably they had like a huge area. We weren't limited by the small piece of land, so they were like free to go like whenever. So it was hard to find them.
Maybe you can tell us about the first mission, the attacking the airport. What kind of targets were you looking for, and how did basically the NATO forces defending react?
The mission at the airport was very intense. We spent several days at the airport. At first, they were hiding their equipment in the forest around the airport. We were trying to find them. In practice, though, it was not difficult to find them. So the next day we were already reviewing their mistakes. Their soldiers and commanders gathered, and they asked us questions. We helped them address certain issues, such as how to improve the camouflage. They asked us how it all works in practice to make conclusions and improve in this regard.
They were like gathering as much information as they could. They're trying to learn, but it's not to them. It's not up to them to change. Like not for the regular soldier. You need to get it on the highest level. You need to prevent all the bureaucracy stops that can cause like the more time to start like really working with the drones, because they have like a lot of regulation for the pilots that you cannot fly here, you cannot fly whenever you got not enough sleep and stuff like that. But they were really receptive, I guess. The guys with the drone, with the airport, they were like the most interested regiment in our like knowledge. They were asking a lot of questions. They were gathered us like couple times, ask what they want to know, and we were sharing the experience with them like easily.
After the exercise, the biggest headlines were all about how the Ukrainian drone teams, as in you, were destroying columns of NATO equipment, to the point where they had to redo the exercise several times over. Was that the tank regiment?
Yes,
right?
it was one of the days when they needed to stop the exercise and run it back, because they were talking like, okay guys, we got all our engineering vehicles are done. We only got like CV90s, so we cannot proceed with them. Let's start over. At some point, we found all their drone squad with the fixed wings, so they were not able to see something. And whenever, let's say, 50% of the vehicles like are destroyed, there's no purpose to continue that. So you need to, okay, so we still need to do the exercise in the right way. We will think about the problems that cause us like our to lose so many vehicles, and we can try again. So we were like, okay, it doesn't matter. We can start over again, and we will try to do the same the next time.
At first, we were playing on the attacking side, while they were defending. What was interesting in this exercise is that when we played for the attacking side, we destroyed all the equipment on the defending side before our tanks had even reached them. And as Kozachi rightly said, we spotted their drone pilots. Their side tried to make an interesting move. They were trying to infiltrate our rear using infantry and light vehicles, and, as I understand it, attack our headquarters. But they did not expect that we would see them very early and destroy them. They could not even reach the target. The exercise ultimately ended when we found their commander, right? We found their commander very quickly. As I understand it, they themselves did not expect that this would be possible at all, let alone that it could be done so quickly.
And you found him?
It was a separate vehicle, a special one, as I understand it, like a field headquarters. And it was far away, at the very end of the reconnaissance zone. That is, it was the furthest point from us. They hid as far away from us as possible, but we still found them.
Did you count your kills, I guess, or your total enemy losses from your teams in the exercise?
There were a lot to count. It was not only the one day of the exercise, it was like a couple of them. But I guess we were doing a lot like every day. Like 20, 30 hits, like hits without real hitting. We dropped like the tennis balls as the grenade from the ISR drone. But as I told before, with the safety regulation, it was kind of like too easy because you need to get in 10-15 meters and it's already counting. So it's kind of like still it's a play. It's a game.
Just going back to the exercise itself, were there any moments during the missions that kind of jumped out as something just really surprising or funny or absurd about what happened there?
There was one moment during that mechanized assault when the tanks were advancing and had already gotten pretty close to our position. At one point, we were flying a drone at low altitude near a tank, and a soldier got out of the tank, took an anti-tank machine gun and started shooting at our drone. Well, he was firing blanks, but it looked very funny. We kept getting closer to it, and the tank was moving backward, and he was also pointing the barrel at us. It was very funny because it had nothing to do with reality. He thought we could hit him, and that's why he tried to destroy us, to shoot at us. But a tank shooting at a Mavic drone is like trying to kill a fly with a machine gun.
I guess the thing was whenever we were defending, whenever we changed size for the defense, we were told, okay, they're going to be the phases of assault, but they were just strictly moving to our positions. We saw them like maybe from 7 kilometers before they even arrived, because there were a lot of dust and stuff, because of like 30 vehicles were moving at the same time, like in one row. It was like easy to defend, but we were having this restriction with the FPVs hitting the vehicles, and we were just flying above them, probably like playing, okay, so this one is done, but they still kept moving. So we were like, okay, so how we can stop them if they're not stopping whenever they hit? And this was kind of like funny. It was like, okay, so, and whenever they come to our position, they were like everywhere from the back to the front, and they were just like coming to the FPV squad and just like with the barrel on our FPV guys. And it was like, okay, I guess we're done now.
So it was like airsoft when you shoot
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
pretend they haven't been shot.
Okay. So, but we saw the drone squad. One guy was lifting his arms up, like he's surrendering. They already have the flags that they are destroyed, but they still had the takeoff of the fixed wing from that car. So we were like, so much but we were like we having the tennis ball dropped on the near the dam like maybe 5 minutes ago, and they just changed the location. So really, they were not fair playing. You cannot have the takeoff of the fixed wings when you like destroy it, right?
That's good sense.
But just a game. We're not like taking that seriously. Okay, you need to stop and stuff like that. We're just okay, just do your thing. They still need to learn. They still need to fly. So that's exercise is all about, not to show, okay, so we can destroy every one of you. Just like to have them still the training they need to do.
Maybe they just wanted to play, because they had barely started taking off when we were already taking them out, so they really had no chance to play.
They were just destroyed so quickly. What were the drone forces of the NATO forces looking like? You mentioned drone teams that were quickly spotted and destroyed by you guys, but what do they have at this point? Because they've now had 3 years at least of understanding that they need to adapt to a drone war. How far have they come?
The Swedish army got the drones, the fixed wings, for a long period of time. Like it's, I guess it's even earlier than the 90s. But they didn't like develop it that way like we did. So basically it's fixed wings, but not the kamikaze one, only the ISR. And they have similar to our systems, like they got Parrot, but it's the military one. It's expensive and still got some kind of like problems with that. And they also got the FPVs, but it's not that developed. They just don't do the relay systems. They just work with the mast. They don't have the antennas. They use the different controller. For the better signal, maybe they get it up high, but still it's not the best solution. But still they're developing slowly, but they do the right steps.
When we test a system before deploying it to the front, we usually check its critical capabilities, maximum range, and maximum flight time. But it seems that they don't conduct such tests. They learn how to operate the systems, how to fly them, but when we ask them how far a drone can fly or what its maximum flight time is, they sometimes don't know the answers themselves, because they simply haven't conducted such tests, haven't checked.
NATO FPV team without any combat experience, what is the most important work that they need to do to get close to something like the effectiveness of a Ukrainian team?
First, they need to think about the safety of the pilots, because right now, as I see it, they only have small antennas. It will not cover the distance that we will cover with our systems. They need to think about the relay system to prevent for safety again, because you don't need to be on the hill, on the highest spot to cover all the terrain that you need to cover. They need to think about engineering, the camouflaging their positions.
They need to improve their skills and learn how to fly better and more effectively, because there were moments that mostly concerned reconnaissance drones and the way they were being operated. It was similar to when newbies start flying. They often fly in a similar way and make similar mistakes. They need to start paying attention to other things now, to move on to the next level.
Did you have a lot of discussions with them about all of these things? How did it feel? Because I remember in the first years of war, it was, NATO troops training Ukrainian soldiers to NATO standards, and Ukraine was very grateful for all of this help with the training. But now it's completely reversed.
That is good to share the knowledge, to maybe give them the opportunity to learn something. That was the good. I guess sharing is good.
I'm curious, because on one hand, I hope they were, as you said, open and humble and receptive. But when, you completely destroy their tank formation or something like that, which is an old pride of these NATO armies, Leopards, CV90s, was there a feeling of some kind of humiliation or shame for how unprepared they are for this modern drone warfare?
I guess there was no humiliation, because we were humble as well. We were just okay guys, so we are here to support you. But they were pretty receptive, and they came to it from the right way. So after the exercise of the tank battalion, they were gathering all the soldiers and stuff, and they were asked, can you tell us what we did good in that exercise, what we did bad? Can you point to the mistakes? Can we show us something that we can improve?
Maybe you had thoughts about this already, or about, maybe you have it now. How do you feel about the future of Ukraine and NATO? Do you think should become a member of the alliance? Did you have discussions about this with your colleagues from NATO countries about what this future could look like after the war?
They will become much stronger together with us, because now, from what we've seen, we are a really big and powerful force. In this case, we saw with our own eyes that we have experience we can pass on. There are things we can tell and show them, show how we work, and especially how we make our work effective. And these are not some theoretical ideas. We demonstrate it in practice, we show it in fact to the whole world. They should definitely be interested in cooperating with us, because for now, it's unlikely that any country in the world, apart from us, has such experience.
How do you feel about heading back to war here, going back to positions and real combat conditions?
Can I tell the truth? Will you cut this out?
Tell us how it is.
Well, I really missed our guys. We hadn't seen them for a long time. It's an interesting experience that we gained, but we have a completely different life here. And to be honest, after all these years, I feel like I've gotten used to living like this, and I've already forgotten how to live differently. So, in a sense, my comfort zone is here now.
Now, I wanted to take the opportunity of having these two top drone pilots here with us today to play a little game, to have a little experiment, a little exercise, a little war game of our own, just to bring you with me into what it's like to be a soldier on any battlefield, anywhere in the world, hunted by top FPV pilots. So we're at a special training ground. I can't tell you the location, but just in a few minutes, the two of them are going to fly out, one with a reconnaissance drone and one with an FPV. And I'm going to play the role of a Russian soldier entering a trench system from a tree line, and we're going to see if they can find me.
Okay, so right now we're gonna play hunting with our journalist friend. We're gonna use the ISR drone to locate them, and we're gonna use the FPV, the kamikaze one, to destroy them, not literally.
I'm going into the trenches now. These are training trenches dug for the brigade. Now, around now, the drones should be flying out. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hear them, but if I was a NATO soldier and I'm still training for a war that is not around anymore, a war without these kind of FPV drones, these kind of open trenches would be considered perfect cover, as they have been since World War I. You can see you're very safe here from artillery fire, from mortar fire. You can just wait out in the open. But now, with drones in the air, that's a very different situation. And there, I think I can hear it. So they're looking for me. But where do I go? Is this net enough coverage? I've still been told by my generals that I need to move forward, otherwise they'll shoot me if I try and retreat. Here's some cover. So the drone is definitely above me now. It seems to be looking very carefully, but I just still need to keep moving forward. So I'll go from cover to cover, moving quickly, keeping my head down.
It's an AI tool. It can spot people in vehicles. When I look at the screen, this little dot is not really visible to me, but it immediately flags it to me as a human. And here are cars, you see, it's counting them. It recognizes them.
Він же просто в окопці сидить. Так,
Ти бачиш мене?
Ну, зараз ні, бо я його веду зараз. Да, лети отак. Лети по окопці прямо.
А я бачу, по-моєму.
Його бачиш? Да, бачиш його?
Да.
Ну, все, тоді ж.
I think it spotted me. And in this trench, just like a good old NATO style trench, there's very little cover. He seems to be locked on to me. All right. I think that counts as a kill. Here it is, my predator. On that note, you can see the Mavic is still in the air, watching me, confirming the kill. Another point on the point system, and another Russian soldier whose quest to come to another country and kill Ukrainians is now over. This video is just one of several from a trip that we've done just now in May, from which we'll bring quite a few reports back from you, including from combat units on positions right in the kill zone. We're always trying to find new ways to communicate this war, to explain it, and tell the story of the people defending this country. If you like what we do, we're trying to get 4,000 new members of our community. Oh my God. So please join the Kyiv independent community, because now there's an FPV after me as well.